You need to be protecting your destiny at this time, and I'm hearing that the main person you are protecting it from is yourself. And it can show up in a lot of different ways. Yes, we're protecting from evil eye, from other people's opinion, from the naysayers, or maybe from people who are not on the same path as you. But I'm hearing that we're really protecting it from self-sabotage, okay? From self-doubt, from like giving up at the first sign of obstacle or a first sign of struggle. You are meant to cherish whatever this vision, whatever this dream is, and you have to protect it from your own thoughts, from your own mind, from your own patterns, your old previous patterns, because for whatever it is you're trying to call in for yourself is much different than what you have now. So you have to think very differently, and this is going to take, I'm seeing Saturn, so strong discipline, right? Boundaries with yourself. You have to become the person that you can really count on or rely on to do the right thing. And, oh, sorry, you have to be able to fulfill and keep the promises you make to yourself. And I want you to know that every single dream, single inspiration is a soul promise to yourself, to your human self, that is something that's meant for you. Okay, so we're really, and we do have I just saw 8 of Wands at the back of the deck. There is something coming in very quickly for you. I am feeling physically hot within my body, so things are definitely heating up, things are picking up speed, but this speed, let me push you back a little bit, I keep bumping, yeah. This progress, the positive results you are about to see are a result of the protection magic you've been doing, and also just the boundaries and discipline you've had within yourself. And this is not unhealthy, toxic productivity. This isn't hustling to the point of breaking yourself. This is more so an energetic discipline and an intentionality with how you use your time, energy, focus, because where your focus goes, that's what grows, okay? So you're focusing on more positive things, and that is, I don't want you to, obviously when obstacles come up, you need to problem solve, you're going to need to use creative thinking, but we're not hyper-focusing on everything that goes wrong, and we're not using everything that goes wrong as evidence or proof that something is not meant for us. We're holding on to the good, we're holding on to the positive affirmations that the universe is giving us, and any of those obstacles or challenges, we're taking those as like confirmation that we're doing the right thing as well. It's I'm watching the show One Piece, and there's this quote that says that if the path to your dreams or something like that is too easy, then you're on the wrong path. If it seems like the way to your goal is going to be super, super easy, then you're probably either not dreaming big enough or you're not on the right path, because the right path is going to force you to grow or is going to challenge you so that you can become better, become bigger, evolve, grow. Okay, so we do have 5 of Cups that just fell to the ground, and it is upright, so we do see that there is some sort of emotional imbalance here. And I do think this is just, murkier feelings, okay? Depression that's holding onto yours. And you have to protect yourself from this yucky part of you. And I want you to know that whatever these yucky emotions or feelings or this negativity or doubt, and it's not even just being discouraged, I'm picking up on a strong sense of pessimism. And maybe I don't think this is who you really are. I don't think this is who you are currently. But I do see that in the past you've struggled with pessimism a lot, and you used your pessimism as a way to make yourself feel like you were intelligent, like you really stood 10 toes down on your, but it was an imbalance, right? It was only seeing the bad, and you were telling yourself that you were being logical, but it's not really logical if you're only hyper-focusing on the negatives and not also able to see the positives. And with him being cloaked and kind of leaning down, he isn't seeing clearly. He isn't seeing, the cups that are there for him behind him. He's so hyper-focused on what's going wrong, right? Which is what we were just talking about. So you need to definitely shift your focus. And, with these heavier emotions, there's a sort of intoxicating romanticism to them, and that's kind of why we get stuck in those cycles of being more negative, is because there's something that's really addictive about the about the dramatics of being a negative person. And that's, I see, it's almost an addiction you've had in the past, these lower vibrational feelings, which all feelings are energy, all feelings can be used positively or in a way that will benefit you. But when we get stuck in them, and it's not that it's almost like these emotions are running you. It's not, you're not intentionally using, your grief to you're not intentionally making lemonade out of lemons, right? You're kind of letting the sad thoughts control you or run you. You're feeding them, and you're kind of like giving offerings to them, almost like they're your god or something like that. They're completely running the show, and you don't have a lot of control over them. So there's something here about just needing to be really strict and nipping it in the bud. I never know if it's butt or bud, but just cutting it right at the quick so that it doesn't spiral and snowball and become something much bigger. And also because you have destiny, there's a reason why you were put on this earth. There's something that you're meant to do. And I'm sorry, if you allow yourself to stay here, you're allowed to go here. You're a human, but you're not meant to stay stuck here, okay? You have to be able to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move forward, because there's something here that you're meant to do. There's some sort of purpose or, gift that you're supposed to give this world. And if you stay in the Five of Cups, you're not going to be able to make the change that you're meant to make in this world, right? But be the change you wish to see in the world. And especially if you are someone who's prone to these can come from real places. Life is very unkind to people at times, and especially if you're someone who notices these things, it's hard not to feel heartbroken over it, because there's so many injustices that happen within this life. There's many people who are suffering, and if you're a person who has a sensitive soul, it can be very, it just makes sense that you might get stuck in these feelings, but I just see that you're supposed to use whatever you're seeing, whatever you're feeling, to make some sort of a change. You're not supposed to just wallow in that kind of, I wanted to say self-pity, but I do see that some of your emotions are not even for yourself. I feel like you're grieving for the collective at large. Okay. Ooh, my throat hurts. We have 2 cards that just came out. Okay. 3 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. So definitely there's things that are heartbreaking you at this time, okay? And the thing that's interesting to me about 3 of Swords is that you would think the heartbreak card would be Cups. You would think it would be the water suit. But it's actually air, and air has to do with our mind, our thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. So this is almost heartbreak. It's heartbreak that makes you question the foundations of reality, right? It's something that you're not feeling it emotionally, you're feeling it intellectually. Like, it makes you question everything. It makes you question what you believed in the first place. And that's, especially if you're feeling at a loss or grieving just the state of the world currently, it's very easy and just for you to lose sight of what you even think, or you just not being able to find any sort of, our beliefs are our strongest magic. And if you're so far in the 5 of Cups, it's hard to use your beliefs consciously. It feels like you don't know what to believe, because if this is what happens, if this is something that's allowed within this world, and yeah, especially with 10 of Pentacles here, it's like it's shaking you to your core and to your foundation. But I do see that there is some sort of legacy you're supposed to build here. And again, with these 2 coming out together, it's like I said, whatever you're feeling grief over, whatever you're feeling, I feel like righteous indignation too. It's not just sad emotions. There's a bit of anger here, a bit of sacred rage. Whatever you're feeling, you're supposed to do, like, make a change that is going to have real lasting implications and change, and it's going to have an impact, right? The 10 of Pentacles has this feeling of impact, of legacy, and yeah, you're supposed to use how your heart is broken to do something. And This is going to result in positive things for you as well. Financial abundance, being able to take care of yourself in a way you maybe never have been able to, especially if, you know, you have been a person who struggles with depression. When we're going through depression, we can barely get in, take a shower, okay? So whatever this change is that you're going to make, it's not just that there's other people who need you to be this change. You need to be this change for yourself. If you don't have any proof or evidence of the good that you believe about life, then you need to go out there and be the evidence, not only for other people, but for yourself. You need to, if there's nobody who's living the type of integrity that you believe in, then you need to go out there and be an example. And maybe you being an example will show other people it's possible, and then you'll start to have evidence in that way. But sometimes if we, you know, the seeing is believing, sometimes you need to be the first one to go, because for other people to be able to see it, someone has to be the one to do it without having to see first. And you are that person. You need to get out there, like, without any physical evidence or proof, because you're meant to be the evidence. Okay? Ooh, my throat is hurting. I'm hearing, say it even if your voice shakes. There's something here about you standing up for people who can't fight for themselves. Oh, 9 of Cups. Yeah, I'm getting idealism. You have an ideal, or just a strong sense of morality, and I'm also getting, like, you believe that a utopia is possible, or you have this mental image of what society should look like, what community should look like, how our system should operate, and you've been so heartbroken because you look and like, it's the life we're living currently is the complete opposite of your ideals and values. And there's something, we need strong leaders and people who have, you know, are sensitive to things and in tune to things, and people who notice, to stand up and make that dream society become a reality. Because if there's nobody who's going to, you know, you have very big dreams, and I think they're 100% possible, but not if you allow yourself to stay stuck. You need to, you know, I'm hearing in the Hunger Games, the only thing more powerful than fear is hope. And there's something here about you needing to hold on to hope. Okay, if this is the first time YouTube has brought you to me, we're going to thank the algorithm for doing its magic. My name is Ava Ilana. Let me take a drink of water, actually. My throat's really hurting. Anyways, my name is Ava Ilana. I'm a spiritual advisor and consultant. I use tools like tarot and astrology to help people overcome blocks that they're facing, reaching their dreams and goals and highest timelines. I also do tarot readings, just general tarot readings. You can ask literally any question under the sun, and I would be happy to answer that for you. I know these readings are really fun, but sometimes it's nice to have a more tailored, specific reading. You can book that in my description box at stanstore/Ava Ilana. And again, if this is the first time you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, with that 9 of Cups, with, again, the protecting your destiny that we were talking about in the beginning, it's like you need to keep your dreams and your wishes for what could be. You need to keep those at the forefront of your mind. Also, we have the Scorpio new moon coming up. There's a level of you needing to be obsessed. Obsessed with your dreams, obsessed with seeing them come to fruition. You can't let yourself and your thoughts get in your way. You know, sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. And this is, yeah, you need to get out of your own way so that you can actually have the life that you want. The Tower reversed. Okay. I think there's something here with your thoughts, and I'm saying this with so much love, but your thoughts are not to be believed sometimes. Your soul and heart, like aligned desires and dreams, those can be believed, but your thoughts cannot always be, because I'm seeing that The thoughts that you have are so dramatic. And dramatic can be a really positive thing, but if it's irrational or doesn't have any sort of truth to it and it's not making you feel good, then we need to not listen, because that's, with this Tower reversed, it's almost like the sky is falling, like the thoughts that you have lead you to believe the sky is falling when it's really not. Like, you think it's a Tower moment, but I'm saying it's not. And I'm also hearing like, girl, it's not even that deep. And I do think everything is deep, so I want to validate you a little bit, but there's something, just overthinking and doing it in a way that's hurting you, okay? That self-sabotage we were talking about in the beginning. Yeah, we have the moon here. So your thoughts are kind of making things murky for you. It's hard for you to see clearly. I'm also getting just like racing thoughts, which I have so much sympathy for that if that is what you're experiencing, because yeah, that's, if you can master that, you can master anything, okay? But the way to combat this is to lean into your spirituality, lean into your meditative practices, lean into your divinatory practices. And again, sometimes, when you're doing tarot for yourself, you can be, especially if you are one to catastrophize or go straight to the worst case scenario, doing tarot can be a little tricky for yourself. So again, if you would like to book a reading with me, we can do that. But just, spending time in prayer, spending time in nature, paying attention to the animals that you see. If you see a squirrel on your walk, what does that make you feel intuitively? And listening to that guiding system rather than so much of your thoughts. And I'm not saying that your spirituality can never be intellectual, because it absolutely can. And I think there's something to be said about knowledge and about reading or researching. But because of the thoughts that you're having and the way that your thoughts are kind of running the show or taking over, now is not the time for that. Like, you really need to get more into your body, get into your heart, because right now your mind can be really powerful, but at this time it's not very trustworthy, and you kind of need to take a break and try to do things like meditative practices, slowing down, so that you can get to a place where your thoughts are a little bit more healthy, so that you can start trusting them again. Yeah, Knight of Cups, lean into your heart. Now's the time to take action from your soul and from divine inspiration and from your heart. Not from the head. And we need both, but I just see that you need some balancing, okay? Some recalibrating, and by doing that, you do need to lean more into your heart, because you've been very just head and ego and mind for a very long time, so the only way to balance it is kind of to go a little bit extreme on the other side. Obviously, don't do anything that's going to harm yourself. Don't take, financial risks that are going to put you in a bad situation. I just want to say, your spirit team, the universe, is never going to put you in a place where you could harm yourself. And that's if you ever feel like you're being led or guided to do something that could be harmful for you, or, just not good for your level of consciousness. Like, if it's going to make you feel like you're devolving rather than evolving, that is not the divine. That is insecurity, anxiety, those sorts of things. Yeah, we have Queen of Pentacles. We really need to lean into our bodies, grounding, being in nature. Wow, my throat hurts so bad. I think I'm gonna pull one more card for you and then call that the end, because yeah, my throat can't do it today. And that's, we need to listen to our bodies with that Queen of Pentacles. It's really, really important that if your body is telling you to slow down, and also if you're having racing thoughts, sometimes it can be because you're pushing your body too hard and you really need to slow down, because anxiety and racing thoughts, it's kind of like when energy gets going too far, and it's very much, air. And if you think about that, air is a little bit faster moving. So sometimes the key is really just slowing down, taking your time. Slow and steady wins the race. There's nothing you need to rush. Yeah, Queen of Wands in reverse. That's kind of like, okay, you can cool it. Sometimes you just need to, don't need to try so hard. If you were on that recent channel, then definitely for you if you're hearing it twice now. But yeah, sometimes we just need to be our own breath of fresh air and give ourselves a little bit of grace. Yes, there's a little bit of tough love I think you need to show yourself, especially if you're stuck in those heavier emotions. Sometimes it's just like making the choice to force yourself to do something different, to think something different. If you feel like you're in a spiral, just being like, okay, we're not doing this, and go up, take a walk, whatever. But yes, there's protecting your destiny. There's something that you're meant to do, and you're not going to be able to do it if you don't show yourself some love in these ways. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I wish you all the best. I hope you have a beautiful day or a beautiful night whenever you're watching this. And again, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for being here and for spending time with me.